Oh, feels good to be at the bar now.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while.
Do we need these on when we're at the table?
The bartender's coming up. We'll have our drinks.
The mask is on upside down.
Damn it! Alright. You couldn't say that one. It took 3 takes, dude. What's up everybody, Just Brewing here. Today we're bringing you some brand new content. We're going to be reviewing a lineup of beers from 512 Brewing Company right here in beautiful Austin, Texas. How many 512 beers have you had? Just the IPA, I imagine? Have you had the IPA?
I've had the
Okay.
IPA. The first time was at Top Golf.
Okay.
And then, the second time was here.
Nice. So we've got 4 beers from 512. We're going to start from what I think is a little bit lighter, and then get to one of their darker ones. We'll get to those, but I really want to get started. We have 512 Pale Ale. It is an American pale. You can give me a glass.
Oh yeah, but did you want to pour it on that?
So a couple things about 512. Oh, miss even pour. I'll give you a larger pour next time.
Better.
So 512, unlike a lot of craft breweries across the country, they're actually independently owned. No big beer owner here. No investors, no giant corporations. Anheuser-Busch. No major company tells them what they can and can't do. They do it for the sake of making conscious craft beer. Works from the owner himself. So, I have not had this beer in particular. I've had a couple 512 beers. I actually got these beers at their brewery on a date with my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Was able to score these great beers. Met some really nice people, and I learned a lot about, like I said, the independent brewery that is 512. I don't know about you, but I want to try this beer.
I'm eager.
First impressions, the look. I very much like the straw kind of color, the very, very light straw goldenish color that it's got.
Well, it is a pale.
That it is.
So.
How did you know? Did you read the bottle?
No.
Wait, you can read? First impression on the smell. Yeah, you can kind of smell something like the wheat or straw that's in it. All of 512's malt is locally and organically sourced. Buying a bunch of local organic malt, so no pesticides or anything like that. All fresh.
I almost tasted it.
Which essentially can really just equates to, fresh, clean beer. Let's do it.
It's the green screen.
The bar just kind of ends over there.
That's weird.
Really
I definitely
weird.
didn't say green screen a second ago.
This is a textbook pale. It's super light, kind of very bubbly, like really, really light body to it. It doesn't like stick to your tongue like some other like rich, thick beers. It's a light one, so you don't expect it to.
You definitely feel it more on the back of your tongue.
A little bit. It kind of lingers, but it doesn't like stick to your tongue. You know? I really like how bubbly it is.
I like good head.
That's some good head there.
Yeah.
Very good head. I like this beer. I really do. I can for sure see myself having 2 or maybe 3 of these straight. I don't usually do that. I'll usually go from one beer to another to a different beer. This is very sessionable. very sessionable.
Oh, I see. At the 5.3%.
Yeah, that's a
ABV.
That's a really good one too. This was the 512 was established in 2008. I really like this beer. You can taste. I don't want to say the grain or the malt that they're using, but it does have a kind of wheat-y, kind of straw like. You're just kind of tasting the smell. I think is what I'm getting right now, because you can kind of smell the straw. Or some whatever wheat-y malt that's in it. I haven't looked at the ingredients, but I like it. I really do. You can everything you smell, you taste. It's not like one of those that kind of catches you off guard by looking at it, by smelling it, by tasting it. I mean, with the name 512 Pale Ale, you know exactly what you're getting into.
Yeah, so that's what I was actually going to say. As somebody who's not as fluent in beer, this is definitely better than... I'm not going to name where I had the Pale Ale, but...
I mean, we've been to a couple breweries in the last few weeks.
Yeah, but this is definitely the best one.
Really?
I would
The best
think
pale?
so. Yes.
Gotcha.
This actually does pack a lot of flavor.
It's got a lot of flavor at 5%. Like I said, this is one you can bring your own 6-pack, you and a buddy, and just take care of that yourselves. No need to have anybody taken from you. No need to take from somebody else. You know what I mean?
It reminds me of an IPA, a little bit.
In that,
Not
like,
in the
like
bitterness,
how
but in
sessionable
the-
it is.
No, I would just say in the amount of flavor I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
It's not crazy bitter,
Right.
but it's
There is a lot of
the
flavor to the
is
pale ale,
there.
yeah.
And normally, well, from what I gather from IPAs, the ones I've had, that flavor that sticks on the lingers in the back of your throat for a hot minute, especially if it's super bitter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this reminds me of.
So what'd you think?
Well, I'm not exactly beer literate yet, but I will say this is definitely a full, flavorful beer for a pale. Versus other pales that I've had, I would definitely have this one again for sure.
For sure, yeah. This is, like I said, this is one that I can have again. Like if I didn't only have one, and we weren't moving on to another beer, I would have no problem grabbing another one.
It's a
This
good,
is really
good social beer.
You can
very-
have 3 or 4 without, putting yourself at risk.
Yeah.
Don't drink and drive, no matter how many or how strong.
Don't drive.
Don't
Drink.
just don't drive. You ready for the next one?
I'm always ready for the next one. Until I'm not.
Yep. Austin's Original India Pale Ale. Their staple IPA beer. Lots of IPAs. There are a lot of IPAs out there. It's arguably the most common craft beer type. This is it's a local favorite. You're going to find this on tap at almost any bar or restaurant in the area. A lot in Fort Worth and Dallas. This is not only local to 512.
As I mentioned, my first 512 beer was this IPA at Top Golf. So, well, you probably pour yourself a little bit more than that. Ooh, that's actually a very, very thick.
Wow, I love the color of this. Wow,
It's
I love the look of this.
So
beer.
when I had it at Top Golf, it wasn't in a glass like this.
They gave it to you in a bottle, or not a can, but did they give it to you in a bottle? Oh no, it was only on tap at that point.
Yeah. So, well, it might have been in a glass similar to the. No, I'm talking about like the
Gotcha,
size.
gotcha.
It was just like a big glass. I was playing golf. I wasn't paying attention to it. But now that I'm actually able to see the color and stuff and appreciate it, now that I've had more beers, I can appreciate a lot more like the look of a beer. Like this is a beautiful beer.
This is a gorgeous beer. It's a little foggy, a little hazy. Mine, I'm not sure if you can kind of see that. You definitely won't get it in the camera. Yeah, do you see that? That's awesome. There's still a little bit of some stuff floating in it, which is not necessarily bad.
No.
If anything, that just shows you that there's real ingredients in here. That smells so good.
It's so strong.
You can smell the flavor before you even taste it.
Okay. You ready?
Before we get into it, on the glasses, I really want to give a shout out to Dustin and Riley at 512. A couple of the guys that I got the opportunity to meet over there. First and foremost, it was fantastic hospitality. I will happily go on about good hospitality. I have no problem talking about bad hospitality. They were great. We only got a chance to speak to these two guys, but Riley, one of the brewers, was nice enough to give me personal home brewing tips. So the next beers that I have brewing right now, I strive to make every beer better, but these are gonna be better because of Riley, and I really appreciate that. So definitely want to thank you guys while I can. I'm gonna shut up and drink this beer now. You ready?
You ready?
Wow. So
bitter, it makes your eyes water.
first impressions, there's a little bit of bitterness. It's at 7%. So it's a little stronger than your average IPA. Those are gonna clock in right around the 5 or 6. So it's a little bit stronger. A lot of flavor, lots of malt, very flavorful IPA.
I was just gonna say that malt is very forefront.
You get a lot. You get all that flavor. You get a little bit of bitterness. Some IPAs push the bitterness over the flavor. I wouldn't say that they pushed flavor over the bitter, but it's just a lot of flavor with really good bittering. I'm not sure specifically what their hopping process looked like, whether what their hop boils look like. Any dry hopping or anything like that.
It's what I mentioned before, where like when I think of IPAs, I think of something that sits on my tongue, like the back of my tongue. That's exactly what this does. It sits there, and you can enjoy that kind of bold bitterness, but you also get the taste before. So I don't know what kind of crazy chemistry goes into designing a beer. Well, kind of, but to get something like this must have taken a lot of
trial and error. A lot of this is just perfecting just doing it over and over again until it's as close to perfect as possible. It's damn near perfect. I really, really like how flavor forward it is. Some of my favorite IPAs are mostly just bitter. Not that that's bad. I love IPAs. It's my favorite type of beer. So I'm no stranger to a bitter beer. But this is not as bitter, nearly as bitter as you would expect it to be. Because when you look at IPA, your first thought is bitter, usually, at least personally.
Yeah, and it can get kind of disappointing when you try certain IPAs that are not as bitter, especially double IPAs that are really, they kind of forfeit the bitterness for maybe a stronger flavor. Maybe it's just a soft...
Or the other way around, and it's just all bitter.
All
it's
bitter.
just double as bitter as it should be.
This is a very good balance between both. I don't think I've had really an IPA that's as good at balancing both sides as this one.
This is a good template IPA. This is what every IPA should strive to be.
For sure, and then try to add their own.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, don't just pour theirs.
Don't
into
steal
your bottle.
512's.
Yeah,
IPA.
don't do that.
That'll be a legal issue.
Every IPA I'm gonna try to make it get it this balanced as balanced as 512 IPA. This is, and what's really nice is this is still another one you can have. You don't have to worry about with some of those IPAs, kind of like I mentioned, of how bitter they can get. You don't want that many. You drink one and you're like, I think I'm kind of full, like just based on like how, like all the texture and like what it brought to you. You can easily go through a couple of these.
It's kind of like not this, but what you were referring to with how you would only really want one. Those are kind of like party beers, I think of. Like those are beers that you kind of slam back to get the buzz. Mm-hmm. This is something you can have. Yeah, you're gonna probably get buzzed off of one or two of these. Definitely two. At least buzzed. I'm not a heavy drink. Well, I'm a heavy drinker, but I haven't been drinking long. I drink a lot of beer.
But your tolerance isn't all the way up there yet.
My tolerance is not all the way there yet. I could probably have two of these and be okay.
You'd be good.
Yeah. You know how I am. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'd need two and then maybe one more to go on, personally. or maybe I would swap it up. But this is so good, I probably wouldn't. I know I said that about the pale, but that's how good it is.
Yeah, if you left me alone with a keg of this, the keg wouldn't be gone by morning because I would have probably been dead. But 3 or 4 glasses would have been gone.
This is a very good beer. Since I started homebrewing, I don't leave beer in the fridge all that often. But this is a beer I can see myself leaving in the fridge. I could buy a 6-pack or a 12-pack if they have them, and just leave them in the fridge, knowing I'm gonna drink it. Despite having my own handmade beer,
And Keyser and...
We haven't gotten to that yet.
Oh,
they don't know about the Keyser, bro.
Cut that. A lot of IPAs are not... They're IPAs, but they don't have the bitterness. There was one I had tried, forgot where we were, doesn't matter, don't want to call these people out, but I tried it and I straight up looked to you and I was like, this doesn't taste like a double IPA. This is...
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And that's sometimes very disappointing, especially as somebody who loves IPAs. But this leaves nothing, to be desired, really. Like I don't know if that sounds good or bad, but do you know what I'm trying to say?
No, they give you what you want out of the IPA. Mm-hmm. You wanted an IPA, take it. This is it. This is the IPA right here. That's the one.
Yeah.
You ready for the next one?
I'm so ready for the next one.
Let's do it. Up next is 512 Witt.
I really don't know how we would say it. In German, that would be Witt, but I don't know if... Yeah.
It translates to white. At least we know that.
Okay.
This is a Belgian-style wheat beer.
Mm. This will be my first one.
Really?
Wheat beer?
Mm-hmm.
Wheat beer is the type of beer, right?
Yeah.
This will definitely be my first wheat beer. I don't even want to look at your glass yet. I want to wait till you pour it in mine so I can see the kind of color. I assume it's going to be light.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be kind of like a pale and a sour.
So it's not going to be clear.
It'll be relatively clear.
Oh shit. But it's not gonna. Okay. You're right. That is. Well, it's not as clear as I was thinking. That's.
It's about as clear as the pale. Maybe a little more clear.
That would have been smart, I guess. If we.
Well, hold on. Oh, you can smell the grapefruit. I started smelling it.
Whoa! Oh my! Wait a minute.
Right on the bottle. So this is no secret, but right on the bottle it says brewed with coriander and grapefruit.
You can definitely smell the coriander.
It jumps right at you. Yeah, I would be concerned if you couldn't. This is one of those that has so much aroma to it, and I hope this isn't offensive. But I got an old friend from high school who lost his sense of smell. I would love to see if he could smell this. Just because how strong it is.
Is that the French fry guy?
Yeah. The only thing he can smell is McDonald's French fries.
McDonald's French fries. Why do I remember that?
What's up, Andy? If you're watching this, there's no way there's no way you are.
Let's find him on Facebook.
I could. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. Remember how I said it's kind of like a pale and a sour?
Is this about to be my new favorite beer?
It could be.
I love hazy.
You do like sours. No, yeah, you like sours.
I like sours, but my favorites so far have been hazy IPAs. There was that one sour we tried in Denver, and I absolutely raved about it, but I can't remember the name.
I can't stop smelling this.
But yeah, it asked me what should we do next. I said IPA, because this might just.
We got one more after this, so we're not even done.
Oh, what?
Yeah, we got 4. I didn't tell you that.
No, I thought we were only doing 3.
No, we're doing 4 today.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're doing 4.
Oh man, I hope the next one can live up to this.
It's their flagship.
Okay, I won't say. Okay. I know now. Oh man, this smells so good. I'm actually really excited to try that one.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Wow. So, like with some of the wheat beers that I've had, it's not very bubbly. There's not very much body to it. It's very light. Once it hits your tongue and you swallow it, it's gone. Like there's a little bit of an aftertaste, but that's probably me smelling it a little bit more off of my mouth.
It definitely stings a little.
A little. It's just probably some of the grapefruit fighting back.
Yeah, definitely.
The acidity.
The citrus.
You can. I won't say you can taste the wheat, but you can taste the difference in non-wheat beer. Just because we just left one. I mean, we just left
so
two.
Good.
I think a sour pale was a decent description of this beer.
Especially with the grapefruit, for sure. This is also only 5.2%.
Very sessionable.
Very sessionable. I'm actually considering buying a 6-pack of this.
Now, with this does have that kind of, I won't say, it's got that tang to it, like some sours do, where you're not going to chug this, right? You wouldn't chug like an IPA usually. But this one...
You could if you wanted to.
I mean, you can do anything if you want. I mean, sort of. But I can't stop smelling it.
Okay, this is the first wheat beer I've had. And if I ever have, I will have another wheat beer. I don't know what to expect from other wheat beer because I really feel like they're going to let me down. So far, this is...
Of these three?
Of these three, this is my favorite one.
Wow. Good.
And I love the IPA.
I got to go IPA and then the wheat.
The fact that these remain so consistently good should show you how much time and effort probably goes into these beers. We don't know, of course. We're not there. But
I was there. There's a lot of time and effort put into these.
Well, you didn't see them.
I didn't watch them brew. Well, I didn't watch them write the recipe, but I was in the space in which they make these, and I can see the effort and time and care that they put into it. I've been to a lot of breweries over the last month or two. And a lot of bars over the last few years.
I've definitely been to 2 more breweries than I would have had I not been here.
I've been around the corner at least once. Maybe not a lot, but I've been around the block once. And I can tell you confidently, firsthand, that 512 has it going on. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
I regret when I had the IPA the first time at Topgolf.
You probably didn't even care to consider it. You probably look at it, smell it, taste it.
I wasn't ecstatic about it. I hadn't tried that many beers, and at first, I didn't like IPA straight away. It's definitely an acquired taste.
For sure. Almost all craft beer is.
Yeah.
Beer is.
Yeah. But I regret shoving 512 to the side because of that.
Not for rookies is what you're saying.
Not for... Well, I consider
Careless
myself
rookies?
a rookie. Careless rookies. Don't be a careless rookie. Be a regular rookie.
Yeah.
My favorite beer out of these 3. That being said, I cannot wait to try the 4th because I just remembered what it was.
I'm just going to get up and go. To finish it all off, we have the 512 Pecan Porter. I'm going to speak for most people in this house and say, we love pecan porters.
Well, I've never...
You've had a pecan porter. You've had Breckenridge.
You're so right.
We were not in Colorado, though.
No, I know. I know where we had it.
Okay.
But I've definitely been looking forward to this beer, and I cannot believe I forgot about it. Oh my...
This is a gorgeous looking beer.
I don't want to smell it right now because I know.
This is a gorgeous looking beer,
I
for
already
one.
know.
Wow, look how thick that is.
It's very thick.
Look at that. You can't even see through it.
I just didn't want to say it because I didn't want to...
So it's about as dark as you would expect a stout to be.
God, dude. Oh my...
It smells so good. Okay, so it's already...
It's very fitting that these 2 stayed over here because of the mic, and these 2 are over here because these 2 are definitely going to be the best drinks we probably had tonight. I don't know if it's going to be better than the wheat beer. From smell alone...
It smells better.
Well, I wouldn't say better.
I like the smell more, rather.
You like the smell more? I think I like the wheat beers, the wit or vit, smell more. Simply because I like those flavors a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I do like pecans. I grew up in the country of Oklahoma on a farm, and we would pick pecans and blackberries and all that, and so this really hits home for me.
That the pecan porter, and I heard this from the founder of 512 himself. He mentioned that the pecan porter, the idea of adding pecans, came from a pecan tree that was out in front of the brewery. That had a larger than normal. It had a larger than normal harvest of pecans.
That's probably
The founder Kevin noticed people eating the pecans, which is normal. Much like you did, my sister and I, one of my brothers and I would walk from school, elementary school, to the Boys and Girls Club. And outside the Boys and Girls Club, near the baseball fields, was a giant pecan tree. So like every day when we walked to the Boys and Girls Club after school, grab a handful of pecans and crack them and eat them on the way.
when my grandpa and I worked, when I helped him work on houses and stuff. He was a contractor. We worked at a couple of houses over in Stillwater that were they had some pecan trees in the front, and when we were done working, he'd be like,
grab some.
yeah, grab some.
That's lunch.
Well, he wouldn't say that's lunch, but he's like, grab some. Your grandma would love it. And so we'd get those buckets full of pecans. So this is actually really cool that you called this a flagship beer of theirs.
This is one of their flagship beers. This was the first beer that 512 put in a bottle.
Not our words, their words.
Their words. Prior to March, 512 was the country's largest draft-only brewery, meaning that all of their beer was found essentially at a bar or a restaurant. It was only on tap. You couldn't get it in a bottle. You couldn't get it in a can. And they were making, what was it? 30,000 gallons?
Somewhere around the
30,000 barrels, I think
I
is what it
remember,
was. Yeah.
yeah.
30,000 barrels or kegs of beer a year, which is crazy. And that's all on tap. So that just goes to the popularity and how good this beer is.
This is so thick, and the smell.
Should I drink it?
No.
Okay.
I was waiting. Yeah, no. I was actually gonna tell you, like, shut up and let's just drink this beer because I'm so excited.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
No, wait.
Oh.
Let me say one more thing. I forgot what I was gonna say. Let's drink it.
Lots of body. I could not help but taste. The first thing I noticed was how it coated my tongue with just the toffee and the. You can taste the pecan. Oh, there's the pecan. There it is.
I was gonna say
There
the
it
pecan is
I had
definitely
to-
an aftertaste.
I had to exhale first because you usually taste the smell of it.
Not
generally.
necessarily an aftertaste. My bad. I misspoke. What I meant to say was the pecan taste is what lingers, and so I totally understand this being a.
I think that's just because
pecan
of
porter.
the aroma of the. I'd be very curious to know at what point they add the pecans, whether it's during the boil or maybe during the kind of like a dry hopping, because you can add fruit and nuts, things like that to the beer almost anywhere outside of while it's chilling. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's pretty much the only time you can't.
This is definitely my favorite beer I've had tonight.
Really?
Yeah, I was gonna say if you give this to if you gave this to a careless rookie, they might confuse it with a stout, because that toffee taste, as you were saying, is totally there, which isn't a bad thing. I'm still new to beer, so I mean, of course, porters. I've had porters, but I haven't had a lot of them. Not as much as IPAs or pales, but I can totally see people getting this confused with a stout, just because of the thick body and the flavor of it. It was very good. Easily, yeah. Well, I wouldn't say easily, because the wheat beer came very close for me. I love the smell of the wheat beer. I just like the taste of the pecan porter more. The smell doesn't necessarily punch you in the face like the wheat beer did, for me at least.
Yeah, for sure. There was a lot behind.
But the
wheat beer.
taste is so much. And
This
I think
coats
that's
your
really,
entire
really
tongue.
good.
You get a drop of this on your tongue and you taste it everywhere.
And of course, the pecan aftertaste is what I'm really digging.
Yeah, I didn't taste the pecan first until I exhaled and like let some of that air go and
Yeah.
smelled it again, and then I got the pecan.
I took a big swig and held it, and I was like, "Don't taste pecan." And as soon as I swallowed it and just kind of let go, the pecan was right there. And so I'm actually upset that this is all that's left in this glass.
We're gonna be going back to 512 soon. It sounds like.
6 packs of this, 6 pack of this. That's what I want.
I'll take my own of the IPA. I'll take my own IPA 6-pack.
Oh, like just for you?
I mean, I'll dabble in some of the others, but I'll say the pecan porter was my favorite of the 4, with the IPA behind it.
So
I still liked this beer, But I prefer IPAs. So IPAs are always going to have a bias.
That's true.
Take that how you want. It's not as biases are not always good or bad, but if I was to rank these, I would go porter, IPA, wit, pale.
Porter IPA with pale.
Now the pale is still really, really good. I would say this is probably my favorite pale ale.
Definitely.
I would say this is my favorite pale ale that I've ever
Yeah.
had, and I've had a lot. I've had a lot of beers.
I've not had as many, but 512 is definitely.
I just want to try what else they have.
If I could remember the name of that company that made that sour, I'm sure you might
The one in
remember.
Colorado?
Yeah, that would probably be my. If their beer was as consistently good as 512's.
Oh, the one we had on the patio in Colorado.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember the name either, but I know I can see it in my head. I see us on the patio.
I'm just not confident in their beer being as consistently good. This is consistently good throughout.
All of these were good.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean this beer was consistently good all the way through? Is that what you meant?
No,
Or
each beer was consistently good. There
Across
wasn't a
the
beer
lineup.
we had that we were like, eh.
Okay, across the lineup it was good. I got
Right. Which is actually very surprising. And like I said, don't be a careless rookie. Be a regular rookie. Because this, I'm upset I missed out on this. I could have had so many more pecan porters if I just used my head
Use your
a
head,
little
bro.
bit. Coffee stout.
We can do that. Peach sour. That sounds good.
Peach, so they do have a sour.
They have four,
I wanna try
five
the sour.
sour and wild.
Sour is not my favorite type of beer, but it's definitely a fun beer to have. Personally, like whenever I have a sour beer, it's just something to have kind of socially. Like whenever we go to bars or whatever. Not one I would normally have just alone at home.
Well, usually we're outside on the patio and stuff, so that makes a lot of sense.
Right. But I would have an IPA at home alone. You know, I would have probably this wheat beer at home alone.
I can have any of these.
I would definitely have any of these at home alone. I would probably have that sour at home alone, just because I'm confident in 512's ability to make a consistently good beer. Even if it's not my favorite thing,
Yeah,
it's
I have
definitely
nothing but
gonna
high
be good.
expectations.
Don't let me down.
I guess that does it.
Unfortunately,
Well, that does it for the beer review itself. Before we go, I do want to have a couple updates. Well, there's a little bit more content coming to the channel. I do plan on breaking down the brewing process itself, as well as the equipment that you need, and the equipment that may make your brewing easier if you happen to start acquiring equipment for brewing. I've got a little bit more hardware now. So hopefully when I brew a little bit more, follow me on Instagram. Follow the channel on Instagram at just_brewing. You'll see a little bit more, a couple in-depth takes of what's going on, as well as some updates. I'm also going to be doing Q&As and giveaways from my Instagram when the time comes. So definitely follow. One more time, that's just_brewing.
I'll put it up.
Just_brewing on Instagram. And you got anything else that you want to share?
I'm serious. Do not let me down. If I am so excited to try. I want to try actually. I really want to try every single one of 512's.
Yeah, let's do it.
In rotation beer.
We can do that.
Probably not this weekend.
Maybe next weekend.
Yeah.
We just got to get this. We've got it recorded. We got to edit, upload.
Yeah.
And then maybe, probably this weekend we can probably go. No, next weekend. Next weekend. We'll see you soon, 512. Thanks for reviewing Just Brewing.
Dang, you already know.
I remembered. Beer. Let's do it. Thanks for viewing Just Brewing.